time to jump back into what I hope is going to continue to be an absolutely crazy series. APA, what were your thoughts watching that first one?
That first game was just a bloodbath. Like I said on the analyst desk, it's just like, what, 40, 50 kills, just like 2 kills per minute. Everyone was just flinging hands at each other.
Always.
Do you feel like that changes at all the way you would draft going forward, or do you still think they stick to their game plan?
I think in games like that, it's just like honestly what you're comfort at. Like Kaze last game, he seemed really comfortable on the Akali, and it just seemed like, you know, in the big moments, he was just stepping up. So I'm excited to watch him this game specifically.
Well, Red Canids did choose to remain on the red side here for this one. You're going to continue to see the Wukong and Sylas bans from Shopify, just like you saw in game number 1. Over on the other side, the Annie and the Azir, again, just focusing on those standard mid lane picks against Palafox. Poppy also banned out. First pick of the draft here in game number 2 is Ambessa for Fudge, and Fudge was a serious performer for Shopify in game 1.
Yeah, Fudge was smurfing. He's also 2-0 on the Ambessa so far here, or at least in split 3. I like the first pick, Orianna and the Xin pairing from Red. That's just a very stable, good, strong mid 2v2. What do you feel like Palafox would be best suited to play here in your experience, APA?
Well, I feel like, you know, he's often been a very good Talia player. He can take Talia. There's like Galio. Those are the 2 big options I have. Like, he does play a little bit of Akali, but of course it was taken last game in Fearless. So, you know, I would just assume like Talia or Galio would be the 2 I'm thinking of.
Jarvan locked in here as the second pick for Shopify. We know that this is a champion that can be pretty well comboed with either one of those choices. Palafox hovering over the Talia right now. Would not be surprised to see this at all, especially with how many plays Shopify were trying to make last game with contracts on the Pantheon, obviously wanting to use these semi-globals to set things up, find opportunities for picks in the side lanes when somebody from Red Canids is overextended. But it looks like instead we're going to switch it over, and instead it'll be Palafox on the rise.
Bit surprising, honestly. I was looking at like, you know, Immobile Orianna versus Jarvan versus Talia. Like you lose your flash and all of a sudden you're just a target to be picked off like every single fight. So, but I'm interested in the Rise pick. You know, it can get power versus Orianna, it can have a lot of map mobility. Like we'll see how he does.
Yeah, if I had to guess, they're just trying to exploit the fact that Fudge was able to get such a big advantage in side lanes on the Aurora last game. So they might think that if things go wrong, we're just going to split push with Rise.
Yeah.
Like we're just going to play side lanes because they don't think Red can keep up.
So how do we feel about the Yorick locked in here for FNB against Fudge's Ambessa? He's saying, all right, I'm going to take this side lane role, try to split push to victory.
You know, if we think that like how Shopify is going to win is through like side push and side laning, then you know Yorick's the perfect counter to that. You know, it's really hard to beat him 1v1 side lane. You can try to beat him 1v2, but he's like he has an old maiden, so he's like 2v2ing you basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's just difficult. Like, I really like the York pick here.
Yeah, it's also his most played in split 3, so he's played a good chunk of York. Last time he won with it lost with it in a 48-minute game in their finals versus Vivo Keyd Stars. So he has had a few bangers on it for sure.
So interesting thing, similarity between this game and game number 1. Both games, both teams drafted both solo lanes and jungler in the first half of the draft. Support and AD carry have not been the priority for either one of these teams thus far, which means, again, here in the second half of bans, it's going to be marksmen, it's going to be supports. Senna and Alistar banned away by Red Canids. Remember that last time around, the Alistar ban was put in there by Shopify. However, now they're going to ban out the Ezreal, removing one of those very safe marksmen, and the Lucian also banned away.
I'm surprised they banned their own Lucian away, because when I think of Shopify, it's like Vivo Seos, Lucian Nami combo, or Lucian whatever.
It's iconic.
So I'm a bit shocked that they banned their own Lucian.
I agree. He's 7-0 on Lucian so far this year. And something else we found, APA, he's 0-7 on Corki. So Red took it away from us. We feel like that's totally fine.
He saved us.
But both teams are happy with Red Canids locking in the Corki here.
Yeah, Ezreal banned as well. So, I mean, all of his most played picks are off the table. He's got a good Sivir angle. Rakan ended up being banned in game 1. They could also go Rakan here.
And Rakan Sivir is what
Rakan Sivir is a nice combo.
Is what I would think Vivo Seos do.
I always like to see Sivir alongside like more immobile solo laners as well, like the Rise, but looks like instead they have a different idea.
Long range.
The Jhin, for the long range, more facilitatory role for the AD carry.
I like the Bard pick. You got 2 mobile champions on side of Shopify, so like Bard, anytime they have no flash, just shoot an ult at them and you can maybe start an engage.
Good stuff there. We'll see how effective Frosty is at this one. We've seen some pretty impressive Bard performances from a lot of different supports here in the North throughout this split. So I'm curious to see if the South can keep up with the Bard magic on this one. How are you guys feeling about how the two drafts measure up now that we get to see the full 10 champion spread? Do we feel like there's a major advantage for one side or the other?
Yeah, I mean, my opinion is they're just different team compositions. I feel like Shopify Rebellion really want to play side lanes and really want to do long-range picks. But I'd say if you're Red, they have a stronger team-fighting team comp, but still can add that mobility with the Bard. So I feel like they have a lot of really good tools on the side of Red, but they have shown that they're not that good playing side lanes, which makes me like the style of Shopify's composition.
Yeah. I'm also just curious to see just how mid lane goes. Like, it looked like Kaze was having a good time last game, and then I think he's in another good matchup. You know, even though Palafox counterpicked him, I would take the Orianna side of the Rise matchup. So if they can look to exploit that a little bit more and just go from there.
All right, excited to see how Kaze will do on this more traditional style of mid laner with the Orianna, just playing the control mage versus playing the hyper-mobile assassin like the Akali. We saw Kaze get a lot of individual highlights in the previous game, but unfortunately for him was not enough to be able to secure the win. I do expect him to continue to be a big performer. I know that a lot of fans from the South are super hyped on this guy coming up from the academy scene, really making a splash immediately, showing that he is one of the top mid laners in the region. And now up against Palafox, we'll see how his Ori stacks up here. I'm gonna get Bard binding into the wall on Palafox for a snappy electrocute as level 1 Red Canids moving into the enemy jungle.
Yeah, a little more context on Red Canids. I know we touched it on game 1, but if you are just joining us now, they do a lot of level 1 invading, but they're also a very young team. FNB, oldest player on the team at 25. He's the veteran, but also considered the best performing top laner in Split 3 of the South. Everyone else, Doom, Kaze, Rebello, all came up from the academy team recently that led to their resurgence. So definitely a team that loves to throw down and has a lot of youth and confidence in themselves.
Yeah, I mean, Red already just has a nice advantage. They got a deep ward in on the top side. They pushed everyone out of the bot side. So Shopify are going to be starting with 0 information, while Red's starting with all the information they can want.
Right, keeping an eye on our junglers here. Remember that in the previous game, junglers did start on opposite sides of the map, both beginning at their red buffs, but it looks like they'll both be starting on this bottom side, pathing towards top here in this one. We'll see if that leads to any level 3, level 4 scrapping up in that top side of the map around this Ambessa Yorick head-to-head, which I think this could end up very spicy with how many kills we got to see in game number 1, with how both these champions can be an absolute terror in the side lane if they get ahead. This one could be volatile.
I really think so. You already said you take the Orianna side of the Rise matchup, APA. What sides of the other matchups do you feel like would be favored based on the champions?
Well, I'm just looking at Fudge on Ambessa. I feel like Fudge's Ambessa is like similar to his Roar, is one of his best champions in my opinion recently. So like, I think with how he performed last game, I'm looking massively to how he performs this game in lane, because I think if he gets ahead, then he can just take over this game. And of course, now we're looking at mid lane, how it looks like they're already burning through their potions. It just looks like a fist fight again. And even bot lane's a fist fight too.
Fist fighting.
It's just a fist fight.
Everybody's brawling. Bvoy and Seos pushed back down here in this bottom side early on. Remember that in the previous game, they were the ones who had priority over the bottom lane, but immediately grand entrance from Seos. Rebello down to 100 HP. Bvoy doesn't have a lot to work with himself, but it's already getting close down here.
And you can just see with bot lane, all the secondary summoner spells are burned. Barrier's gone, the heal's gone, everything is gone bot lane, so it's just like no potions, no anything now. It's just whoever lane's better.
Boots pots start for B-Boy, so he's going to want to have a little bit more sustain. And I also feel like we have Emily, who is standing by with Talkers for an interview.
Hello, I am joined here by Red Coach Talkers. Nice to be interviewing you now as a coach. What do you think went wrong game 1, and how are you guys going to readjust?
I think they punished us a bit on side lanes, and their team fight was sharper than ours. Some team fights we just missed some key ultimates. So it was really down to details, and I think we just need to be focused and we can win.
In terms of side lane pressure, I also agree with that. I see Yorick here, kind of an easy cheat sheet for side waves. Is that kind of what you're hoping from Yorick in this game?
Yeah, here we have Yorick with Bard, and they have Rise, so let's see who can punish who, right? It's going to be probably really bloody on the side lane, so that's it.
All right, well, game 1 was also really bloody. I wish you all the best, and we'll throw it back to the cast.
Really bloody on the side lane. Sounds like exactly what I am expecting as well here from this one, as we do see FNB with control over this top lane 1v1 here nice and early. Does have a slight lead in terms of farm, does have tempo on the wave, making sure that he's shoving Fudge in here, but it is still a while until we're going to see the grub spawn, so not a whole lot of attention up there towards that matchup from anybody else just yet.
Yeah, I also feel like he's sitting on 2 biscuits, has the wave in a spot where he wouldn't get ganked, and has second wind plus Doran Shield. So he's going to be sustaining pretty well unless he goes for a bit of a silly all-in. I think Fudge has the lane in a totally okay spot and can still collect minions under his turret.
See, I'm curious what Kaze is going to do after this, because I assume he's going to base TP, but then they could look to do a Dragon Timer off this because he's already got Palafox's TP out, or he could just greed a little bit. You know, he might be close to a Lost Chapter. I don't know if he has it yet. And then, yeah, I think he actually just has Lost Chapter gold, so to be back, he's going to be very strong coming back in the lane.
I feel like that's just got to be the ideal breakpoint to go for that first teleport to return to lane with, right? When you're playing one of these traditional control mages, the Lost Chapter power spike just feels like it gives you so much staying power.
Yeah, and this is when the lane would just really start to get hard. You know, one shockwave from Orianna just rises like instantly 40% HP. So I'd be really careful about this matchup right now if I'm Palafox.
Yeah, everyone's coming mid because they feel like this is also a breaking point for that lane. Contracts, they're going for it.
Immediately, flash engage coming out from Palafox. His Contracts and Seos are ready to follow it up, but Doom has also arrived and Frosty is on the follow. Palafox is going to die. It's first blood over to Red Canids, and Seos is about to drop 2 if he's not careful about it. Grand entrance back away. A double kill. The win becomes lightning. Doom gets it done. Shopify Rebellion thought they had it figured out, but Red Canids ends up coming out on top.
I mean, they just go so aggressive, but don't have the damage to one-shot, so they burn everything on the initial engage, and then Red just gets to land the counterpunch.
Yeah, I mean, you see like Palafox flash forward, and then Seos goes forward with a W, but Contracts isn't in range yet. Like, he's basically all their damage because they're using all the CC on the Orianna. And he's just not in range. He should have committed flash, and if they're not willing to commit flash, they can't go for that.
Yeah, not to mention they don't have brush control on the left side, so there is a control ward down. Red knows that they're not spotted, and Seos, though, makes another play after the replay.
Oh, Frosty! He barely stays alive with the last auto attack from Seos, seals his fate. The 2v2 kill there for Shopify to get themselves back on the board, but now in the bottom lane, FNB versus Fudge is also going to stay nice and spicy. Palafox arrives here with a Realm Warp, but again, without a flash, he can't get in range of FNB in time. Now Palafox might be in a little bit of danger. He's fighting the Maiden and the Yorick at the same time, and FNB's just going to walk away. But now again, we've got the Deadly Flourish up here on the top side. Doom gets locked up. Contracts goes in, flashes back over the wall. Rebello putting some firepower back into Seos as Shopify continues disengaging, but now Kaze has joined the fight. He's going to find the shockwave there on a Contract, and Shopify Rebellion lose another one. Feats of Warfare claimed there for the side of Red.
And Red staying really aggressive. I'm surprised the Contract was going for that play on the top side when they had already committed their 2 soul laners to a failed play in the bot side, so it's just a matter of time until the numbers are advantage for Red on the top side.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks like a fist fight. You know, Game 1 started slow.
This is a bar
this
fight,
game
man.
It's just a bar fight everywhere, no matter what.
I'm glad that we're at least getting to stay with this momentum after the game 1. I would have been sad if we slowed back down to a more expected pace in the second game, as Frosty, nice interrupt there on the recall from Palafox, just spoiling that tempo.
I mean, mid-gap is already like 700 gold because of the 3-3 and then the kill that they got on Contracts. So I'm curious to see how like Kaze can just leverage his advantage right now.
Yeah, plus Palafox used his Rise Ult bottom lane, didn't really get much except half his health bar burned by the Yorick. So when you're in a situation like this, let's even just say you're on the rise, like how do you try and survive and get back into the game?
You just gotta get a little bit of vision control, and then with a little bit of vision, you can hug that part of the lane and just try to wave clear until like a flash comes up or until, you know, someone can gank. Like this Orianna still no flash, Jarvan's level 6. Something can happen there.
Like you can see the cooldown there for Contracts, his ultimate, about 30 seconds left until he can use that one. We do not have the early Drake take in this game that we saw in game number 1. Remember that Red Canids took that one around 6 minutes uncontested. And the Grubs are now on the map. You can see a lot of players from both sides migrating towards that area. I feel like the next team fight is going to be over these Grubs as we wait for the cooldowns to become fully ready.
I feel like Red's also really strong at the moment. They haven't necessarily completed their items yet, but just the power of the Orianna right now with Shockwave up, they have all their ultimates. Yeah. So Shopify's got to pull something off in this fight, AP.
Yeah, and then Bard at level 6, you look at all the flashes on Shopify, every flash is down except Fudge, who's not going to be in the fight. So if this Bard hits level 6, drops an ult on one of the mobile carries, it's, you know, they're just dead.
Contracts is ready to start up the grubs himself. At least try to take one of these before Red Canids can respond. But Kaze and Frosty are both still in the area. Frosty walking back towards the mid lane, trying to get the auto attack here on the minion to guarantee the level 6. And there it is. Frosty now with a Tempered Fate available. That big playmaking tool could decide the way this grub fight goes. But Contracts working his way back towards the pit right now. Down in bottom lane, neither one of these guys has their teleports available, but those cooldowns are almost exactly synced up. So if we don't get a grub fight for another minute and a half, they both could try to participate then, but it looks like Doom does not want to wait that long. Red Canids now going to start the objective.
Yeah, and as APA pointed out, Bard is level 6 now, Teseos level 5, so they do have that support power spike, which I think gives them the confidence to start.
Seos, though, hanging out in the mid lane, trying to get the EXP to get his ultimate unlocked. Red Canids going to secure the first grub already. Seos hits level 6 now. Shopify still hanging around the area, but it looks like Shopify is just here to observe what's happening, as we will see all 3 grubs go over to Red.
Red dropped a mid wave for that, but, you know, they got 3 grubs. You know, I'd consider that worth. You know, one mid wave, you don't even lose a plate. Like, I'd take that.
Yeah, really nice play there by Red. I feel like they're trying to play a little bit more measured in this game, even if it's still fairly bloody. They've made high percentage plays. I'd say FNB on this Yorick is really getting value with this counter pick onto Fudge's Ambessa, specifically surviving that 1v2 and having the wave push pretty much this entire game. So it's making it hard because Shopify doesn't have winning lanes to play off of.
Especially when you remember game number 1 and how powerful Fudge's Aurora was, how important that was for Shopify hanging on when they were behind initially to catch back up and have good team fights. Now with Fudge down 25 CS, not being able to find victories in these 1v1 side lane situations, things are going to feel a little bit more suffocating.
Yeah, I mean, both side laners from Red are just like winning respectively. You know, FMB is smashing Fudge right now, and then Kaze, you saw it up earlier, he's just pulling the freeze top lane. So they're pressuring both sides of the map really, really hard. You know, nothing you can really do in the Corki, and they just get a free dragon because of it.
Well, there it is. Nobody from Shopify going to contest this one. Just like game number 1, uncontested Drake. However, this one 5 minutes later. So even if Red Canids do manage to just go straight 4 Drakes into Soul, it will not be a super early Soul potential this game. Fudge now has to try to back away again as FNB just finds the cage on him, takes him down to about 1/4 HP, and Fudge can't say anything about it.
Yeah, he might end up losing a plate off of this as well. Just looking at the map state, there's no one able to come help him. Shopify's in survival mode right now, APA.
I mean, everyone's just losing lane except B-Void, but it's so hard for you to do anything against Corki. You just, you know, like just 50-50 the ways mid lane, and then side lane's just so hard. Like, you've already lost your Ambassador DP. Like, Ryze ended up getting the top wave in, but however much CS he lost there. So it's real hard for the side laners right now.
Yeah, I mean, what does Red do to advance the game then? Because they're 2,000 gold up and look to be in a good position.
I mean, right now, it's, in my opinion, I don't think they have to like advance the game. They're getting all the objectives. They're winning all their lanes. They just have to keep doing what they're doing. They don't have to like break the game anyway. If they don't make any mistakes, they're doing quite well.
So then let me pose the counter question. If you're Shopify, particularly, you know, Contracts has his Sundered Sky, he's got ult, he's got flash, he's got everything. Where do you want to see them try to make plays to stop this bleeding and make sure that they can stay competitive with Red Canids as we head towards the mid game?
I mean, it's a hard question because, of course, like you can just send your flash ult on the Orianna or on, like, you know, in a mobile champion, you know, the Bard, and get their flash. But then it's if you're doing that, you also lose all your like minimum pressure that you already have. So it's so scary to use something if it's not like a clean hit.
Kaze gonna step up here and find that shockwave onto Palafox as Doom's coming up right behind him. Palafox wants to take the Realm Warp. He even tries to spend the flash to get in range. Yeah. Palafox loses the summoner, loses his life.
I mean, that's gonna be really rough. Like, Palafox lost flash, lost his ulti. He's so like just weak right now on the rise. It's gonna be so hard for him to come back into this game.
Man, that is a rough one for the Shopify mid laner. Now 2 minutes until the Herald spawns. Kaze's also going to take the extra plate up there in the top lane off of that turret to go along with the kill that they got. This is nearly a 3,000 gold lead before plates even fall for Red Canids. This is a massive early game.
They're taking high percentage plays. I mean, maybe not this one. FMB's so far ahead in lane, he's decided to take the red buff with the Maiden. This is, we'll see how this works out.
Well, he's got backup coming around to help him.
Looks like it's his.
Yeah, Frosty's making his way over. If Contracts tries to stop this, he might be in some danger. He's going to try to EQ over the wall, and FNB is just waiting. Contracts gets caught out. Doom picks up a rampage. 4-0-1 here with the Xinjiao.
Where did they think that Yorick went? Is the one question, because I understand why you don't expect him to just be disappearing in your own jungle and killing your red buff, but Fudge had been getting pushed in the whole game. I wonder how FNB snuck in there, whether he faked the recall and it made them think that he was back in base, because that was just a beautiful trap that they set up to get a kill on a contract.
I mean, right now it just looks like Shopify are just getting suffocated. You know, they're losing everywhere. They're losing top, jungle, mid, bot. It's so hard for them to do anything.
Well, Seos is at least trying to set something up here for Fudge to find something back on FNB. FNB with a flash away. Seos decides that means he's got to commit the quickness, but Fudge is losing to the maiden at the same time. FNB, again, in a 1v2, stands tall and beats them back.
We're seeing that FNB Yorick power and why he's so respected as a top laner in the South right now. That's the second 1v2 he's pretty much just walked away from after dueling them.
I mean, yeah, it cost him his flash, but he got a lot back out of it. Now the cage, he'll force the flash out of Seos, and he's still on the chase. FNB is embarrassing Shopify Rebellion.
And this is like the really scary part, because you use your move to attack FNB on the bot lane, and then you just lose all your pressure top lane. Like, look at Palafox. He just has to abandon top lane completely because, you know, they have no clue where the Bard is. They have no clue where Doom is. They can be anywhere.
Seos spent both summoner spells and his ult trying to make that play down there in the bottom lane. Fudge has still only got 20% HP, so yeah, he can clear away a wave that's crashing into the turret, but he can't really do much more than that. His presence on the map is severely limited. Meanwhile, FNB on the Yorick, he's going to pick up the tunneler, he's going to pick up more pieces. Seos tries to jump in there, but there's just no real threat onto Rebello. And now that Rift Herald, it's just been getting soloed by Doom the entire time. This is going to be another neutral objective the way of Red Canids. They've already got 3 grubs. They've already got the Drake. This is going to be feats of warfare secured as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just another free objective for the Red Canids. Like, they've got grubs. They got the first dragon. They got a Rift Herald. You know, I'm curious to see when Shopify, like, stops getting suffocated and just, you know, tries to take their stand. Tries to, you know, do the Hail Mary to win the game. Yeah,
I mean, the little plays they've tried have just fallen away from them time and time again. This is such a great performance by Red. Seos just trying to get a little bit of pathing, but he's probably dead too.
Yeah, Tempered Fate. Ooh, but the timing on the Cosmic Binding isn't exactly what they needed, so Seos can still get away. But man, this is so scary for Shopify. They're down 4,000 gold 16 minutes into the game, and it's about to get even worse as the Herald driven straight into the turret there by Doom. This should provide more than enough damage to guarantee that they can take first turret as well. Gold lead, 4,500 gold. Contracts and Palafox are going to make the move on FNB, but again, the Yorick, he's so damn strong. Fudge comes in here for the public execution. He needs more damage, and he can't quite find it. Finally, Fudge gets the shutdown, but he has to use the whole kitchen sink to do it, and it's still just a 1-for-1.
They had to send a third person to FNB this time, and they still get one back. FNB and Red are going to be happy about that one. They'll get the Drake on top of it as well.
You know, the Maiden is so strong, you consider it a 1v2, but then it's just a 2v2. They needed to bring Fudge, the third man in, to make it fair.
They finally get their numbers advantage, but still just the even trade. Right afterwards, Doom knows that there's nothing Shopify can do, so he picks up the Drake as well.
Just another free objective. Like, not really free. Shopify did try to stand for it. They lose Dragon, and then they lose the bot too as well.
I mean, they just continue to try and make plays onto this Yorick, and it continues to not go great for them. At the same time, they did get the TP, so when they're down 4,000 gold, I'd say getting the shutdown and the 1-for-1, I think they're losing the Drake anyway. That's a play that you take again if you're Shopify. Just goes to show, though, how strong the Yorick is.
They got the top lane tier 1, so I believe that should be a bounty. Like that, that's something big back for Shopify.
Exactly. Anything right now matters so much considering how bad the slide has been for Shopify throughout these first almost 18 minutes now. But we do have, gentlemen, the great equalizer spawning here in about 2 minutes. Otacon is going to enter the Rift, and I do want to see how this one plays out because we've had so many crazy Otacon moments throughout this split. Last game, we saw the Palafox dance with it for 2 minutes and then eventually into the fight after Shopify managed to get the team fight that they wanted. But Fudge is trying to put some pressure onto the tier 1 turret here in the bottom lane. But this thing already had so much health still standing because there just wasn't a ton of pressure early on in the game. He can't force it down just yet.
Yeah, and I mean, I really feel like this is going to, as Contract jumps into Frosty.
Yep, and the Deadly Flourish hits Frosty there from B-Boy, but Frosty hadn't taken anything that would cause it to root instead of just do the slow, so he can continue walking back away.
I mean, you can see it's so hard for Shopify to even just be in their jungle. Like, Contract steps out into the ramp bush, and then he's just pushed out. He's pushed back to his Raptor, he's pushed back to his Red. It's so hard for them to just step out right now.
Yeah, Red has to make a big mistake, or Shopify just has to play side lanes like wizards and somehow, pretend, like basically guess where Red's going to be, because they can't even set up vision to split push in an intelligent way. They're going to take some miracles, I feel like, to get back in this one.
All right, Palafox, he's the target yet again. The Shockwave forces the flash. So Orianna ulti down, however, that is a big cooldown for Palafox. And you have to be thinking, yeah, Kaze's going to have the Shockwave ready to go by the time they want to fight for this Otacon that spawns here in 35 seconds or so. It might be a little bit delayed after that, but I would think Red Canids could wait the little bit of extra time they need to have that massive team fighting tool, as Kaze, just using the Shockwave, forcing the flash, opens up the space to take the tier 1 turret.
I'd say a bit of an opportunity, though. I don't think Red needed to commit 5 people to this play when they had the advantage anyway, so Fudge got a wave in that he's not going to end up hitting the turret, but he denied about a full wave of minions, so almost a chance there for Shopify to get a little bit back.
Yeah, I mean, you can still see, like, whenever Frosty and Doom are going right now, they just push everyone of Shopify out of their own jungle. So they go top side, they get vision, they go bot side, they get vision. So it feels like Shopify have no information this entire game. Just look at the vision they have. They have no idea where Doom is right now.
Okay, so we still have the 4,000 gold lead for Red Canids. Spear of Shojin completed as the second full item for both of the top laners, so their itemization spikes are in pretty similar spots. The jungle is dire, though. Both of them with a Sundered Sky and a Mercury Tread, but then a long sword for Contracts versus a full Black Cleaver for Doom. That is a massive power gap.
I mean, look at the gold there on Doom, 8,300 gold. He actually has more gold than the York, who's just been taking on 2 and 3 people the whole game, so their Bruiser and Orianna are incredibly fed.
I mean, I want to bring up, even though Kaze has been having a relatively quiet game, he still has a massive gold lead. Like, we haven't been focusing on, but he's up 2k gold. He's 2.5 items. Like, this guy comes into an Otacon fight, if there's a team fight with him involved, he's going to do so much damage.
Yeah, that Shockwave hits more than one target, and I feel like the whole fight's just GG from that point, right? Like, how do you even deal with that amount of burst, as it looks like Doom and Rebello are going to go ahead and start this Otacon up. They have a control ward in the pit, so even if Shopify has suspicions, they cannot confirm that this is what Red Canids are doing. It's also the Scuttle Crab going to be picked up here by FNB unless Contracts can steal it away. Scuttle Crab goes down there. It is stolen by Shopify, but the Otacon down to 2,000 HP, and Red Canids cleanly secure the Otacon. The curtain call opens up, but it can't really do anything against mostly full health targets. Doom jumps in after Fudge. Red Canids find a kill. They're going to get the objective plus the dessert.
Nicely done there by Red Canids, ready to peel off. I think Shopify wanted to soft contest this while Palafox split push, but they went a little too far with their soft contest, and the Bard really chased down Fudge well.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like this entire game is just a suffocation, like a slow suffocation from Red. It's honestly really impressive to watch.
Yeah, this has definitely been a strong performance from Red Canids. It's been a much more controlled game. 10 kills in 22 minutes is much slower than the last one. Contracts wants to go in on Kaze. Nice use of the Cataclysm into the immediate EQ combo back to the rest of the team, but there's just no follow-up. They're just so far behind. A double kill to Rebello, and Shopify Rebellion just look lost.
I totally agree. Who was supposed to do damage there? Because Contracts isn't going to one-shot them with the ultimate. Fudge is dead, and the Palafox TP is 5 seconds after the fight APA.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that's like the only thing you can take off is you got 3 flashes off Red. You got Doom's flash, you got Rebello's flash, you got Frosty's flash. Maybe going into like the next Dragon fight, or like, just the next Baron, or like you can get something going for yourself.
Yeah, Contracts, maybe it was just to burn the flashes, because you can see he decides to take the Bard portal at the last second. It's just B-Boy that's way in the back with only 1 shot left in the tank, so no chance that gets kills. And then the TP comes in very late. Shopify is completely out of sorts.
Yeah, I mean, the Contracts play looked cool up until you realize the consequences of nobody else on the team is around. Like, he dodges the Shockwave, he gets the triple knockup with the flag combo, but then just the reaction, it's not enough. 11-2 now for Red Canids, up 6,500 gold. They also secured their 3rd Drake of the game. That is Soul Point for the South representatives here. 23 minutes into the game, and it looks like they are starting their victory march. It's time to pick up all this standing gold from the tier 2 turrets. They take down the one in the bottom lane. Seo's going to get caught by the Auric Cage here, but he does continue to disengage. Tempered Fate finds Palafox. Enemy mid laner down, and the red Canids just keep on going.
Yeah, I mean, you can just see it, like the Bard ult onto the no flash rise, it's so easy. It's near impossible to hit from that range.
Yeah, I mean, they are really playing an impressive game. Contract's trying to get a pick. This is a flashless Corki.
I don't know, man. I don't think Jarvan wants anything to do with this. Rebello just takes him down, and yes, Fudge and Seos are going to swoop in, so they at least make it a 1-for-1. Shockwave doesn't hit a target, but Doom and Frosty are still ready to keep going here. Fudge does get one back onto Doom, but it's still 3 dead on Shopify, only 2 dead on Red.
I mean, that's what Contracts does so well. He's just a ninja in the mid game. Like, even though Red has so much vision, so much information, he's just randomly in the ramp bush. Like, Rebello had no idea he was there. They get 2 bounties.
Yeah, pretty nice bounty. Still 7,000 gold down. I mean, this is kind of what we were talking about yesterday, Flowers, about the South, because I do feel like there was this perception because Split 1 was 8-1 for the North that it was going to be easy. I did not think it was going to be easy, and I was going to predict at least a game for every South team in every single series, because if you also look at the trajectory of this region, Pain Gaming, who was eliminated yesterday, made it to Worlds group stage out of the play-in last year. Furia took G2 to 5 games at MSI. They have had some of their best international performances ever, and I think this performance, just even in this game with how they are kind of suffocating out Shopify and playing a relatively controlled game, I think is a little bit of proof of the progress they've made.
And it's what we were talking about at the top of the day before the series started. Hold on 1 second here. Contracts looking for the play yet again. Kaze could be in some danger. Tempered Fate finds Contracts and Kaze both, but Shopify Rebellion, that's a big pick there on the enemy Orianna. Just as the clock hits 25 minutes, Shopify might decide this is the Hail Mary Baron that they need with the enemy mid laner down for 40 seconds. There will be a teleport available for Kaze to join back up if this takes too long. Red Canids still looking to approach. Seos over the wall. Nice engage as they immediately kill off the enemy support, but now Rebello still does a ton of damage here with the Corki. FNB's made his way into the fight, and Fudge is going to be targeted next here by the Yorick, who buries him alive. Seos on the run, but Doom continues the charge. Palafox the next target as Doom kites it out. Red fights it out. Shopify Rebellion lights out. Triple kill FNB.
And Doom and FNB are just too beefy. They arrive at the very end of the fight and just brawl, fist fight Shopify to death.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great engage coming in from Seos, coming in from Contracts to get the pick, and then onto Frosty. But then, like you said, FNB comes in. This guy's a massive, like, he has so much gold in the York. He just comes in, just shovels everyone.
But from the state that this game was in, Shopify even having this opportunity, I think, was extremely well played. Getting the pull as well is amazing. If Fudge lands that ultimate onto Rebello, maybe they have a chance to win this fight because he is a flashless Corki. When they miss it, though, they still have to spend all this extra time killing the Corki. That gives FNB time to clean up. Like, as soon as that guy's going to enter the fight, it's going to be difficult. And it just took too long to try and get that final kill onto Corki.
I like the call from Shopify to try to send it after you get the pick on Orianna. I feel like you're so far behind in this game. You've got to take those small opportunities when you get them. But obviously, Red Canids were prepared. They are 8,000 gold ahead. There is less than 60 seconds until their Dragon Soul spawns, and they've got the Red Bull Baron power play for the next 2.5 minutes. Even with nobody else behind him, FNB is a one-man wrecking crew on these turrets as he keeps this push going.
Yeah, I mean, just look at his items right now. He's 3 core. He pushes everyone by himself 1v1, and like, they just can't do anything. You know, Palafox is kind of desperation push top lane, but they're into the game mid lane.
Yep, this might just be the push all the way. Red Canids want a full send it. Fudge does step up. Nice sidestep of the Deadly Flourish there from FNB. Throws out the cage, but he will not find B-Boy. Immediate, though. Nice counterattack from Red Canids. Kaze gets the kill on Seos. FNB is low, but he is not dead just yet. Contracts goes back in, trying to find the LT here for the Kaze. Nobody on Red is dead. Fudge drops. Double kill for Kaze. Shopify Rebellion fall to pieces. The Dragon Soul is not required. 23-7. Red Canids show that Brazil came to play today. They will make their way on to the Nexus turrets. B-Boy won't have anything to say about it. And Red Canids Kalunga tie this series up.
They have arrived here in Los Angeles. 8-1-12 for Doom. Some insane laning this entire time. Lounge.